continue to be heard, and let us continue with what we still have jurisdiction over. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. I like how you guys time yourself. 4 seconds left, 3 seconds, you close it. Today, you are doing well for yourselves. Colleagues, there's a principle in law called the principles of natural justice. What does it do? It says if somebody alleges, in order for you to give an opinion over what somebody has alleged, you must give the other person who is alleged against a responsibility to respond in order for you to close the matter, right? So legal says that the minister, we were questioning whether the minister lied to this committee. This is what we're doing here. Whether the minister lied or misled this portfolio committee by saying that she had an independent panel that dealt with the matter. That is why we asked the meeting. I will refer you to your own resolutions of the meetings of the 18th of June. What you do say there? You said we want to get to the bottom of whether the minister lied or not. And therefore, Chairperson, write to the panelists and ask them to give us written responses by the 25th of June and tell us what is it that, what was their role in this thing, whether this thing existed or not. But you colleagues said, we want to prove that the minister lied or did not lie. So that is the primary reason for this thing. That is what, now the minister, whether she lied or not now, there's nothing that we will do. She's no longer in our space. There's a different committee that now can deal with that particular issue. This is the ethics committee that Honorable House did there. But we can't, when we continue with the matter, legally, Phumelele, maybe help us. Legally, how will us continuing with the panelists help this committee? Because you remember, committees are created under Section 55 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa on behalf of Parliament to do specific job, which is to do oversight of the ministry and the department of that particular issues. So we can't deal with issues, for an example, on social development, even though we're members of Parliament. In this committee, we can't deal with issues of social development. So Phumelele, this is what I informed members. I've given them time to do. I don't remember any of them giving me any legal thing, except us asking that they are consulting. No, you did not. Phumelele.
Thank you, Chairperson. Greetings, everyone in the House. My name is Phumelele Ngema. Chairperson, just to zoom straight to the point and the question that you have posed to me, there is definitely nothing wrong with what the members have indicated in respect of their oversight functions within the portfolio that they are mandated to address. However, Chairperson, there is an interface, as you have already pointed out, between the purpose and the actual intention of the meeting for today that is interfaced by the provisions of the Constitution, which in this regard, as you've already pointed, it's Section 55, which gives that power to conduct oversight over the portfolios that fall within the subject matter of the mandate of that specific committee. Then there's also the powers which the committee was exercising within Section 56, but more so, I think the main gist is under Section 92 of the Constitution, which is between subsection 2 and 3. And if I may just quickly, Section 92 is about accountability and responsibility that is placed on the Cabinet. And I guess that is where the part involving the main role player in this matter, and the purpose of the meeting was addressing and receiving reports or evidence in that respect. So the interface between Section 92 and Section 55, Chairperson, needs to be unpacked further as for the purpose of this meeting and the conclusion that will be required for purposes of this meeting having started and having gone in the manner with the events that are occurring as they unfold, Chairperson. And so, Chairperson, that being said, and in light again of Section 55 and the department being a continuing entity that is still in place, obviously, that still needs to be maintained for purposes of oversight, as well as for the completion of the report, Chairperson. And in that regard, Chairperson, whatever has been indicated and whatever has already transpired, it is within the powers of the committee to decide and to dictate whether there is still a point for further more evidence that can or cannot help them reach a conclusion as to where the matter is and how far it has gone. And that was the point of our opinion to clarify, Chairperson, whether evidence and everybody who has been called continues for purposes of finding a conclusion into the matter and the purpose that this meeting was initially meant for. That is the main question that needs to be addressed. And I think the last part, Chairperson, I should be speaking to or indicating relates to the other procedural matters as to where best the matter will be located and finalized. As we would understand, there's Powers and Privileges Act, which guides further what specific committees and the rules of Parliament and alludes into the powers that each committee has. And as I said, there's absolutely nothing wrong with what each member has indicated here, but we need to be certain that moving from where we are and what has transpired, who is best placed in terms of the rules, in terms of the Constitution, and in terms of the powers that are enabled and extended within the relevant and applicable legislation. That was the point in summary of our opinion and suggesting the direction in the manner that the Chairperson articulated. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, if you can just give it in English this time. Simply on two things. Whether there is merit on continuing with the reading into the records of the panelists when you know you will not have the right of reply by the minister. And I want to indicate that, remember, Dr. Nkabane was brought in this thing as the Minister of Higher Education. She's no longer a Minister of Higher Education. And the probe was whether Dr. Nkabane as the Minister misled this portfolio committee. So I want you to break it down in English for all of us, right? There's well, talking to legal now. Allow legal. The minister was, these comrades or these colleagues were probing the actions of the minister as the Zondo. But you can't disrupt us, please. The probe was into the minister in the actions that she has taken as the Minister of Higher Education and Training. And that is where we entered. That is why no other committee would have probed the matter. It was because she was a minister. So I want you to clarify it for us. She's no longer a Minister of Higher Education. So you are probing her. If, like some are saying, let's continue to probe her actions as the minister, and she won't be able to answer for herself as the Minister of Higher Education and Training. So the probe now probes the actions of the minister in her, and I'm not saying we must not ask like I've already agreed that the former Minister Blade will be brought in to do something else. That's one we've agreed, and it's not about that here. But here the probe was, your action as the minister has brought us here. And these people are here to give their evidence against somebody, and this particular somebody will not be able to defend themselves according to that natural justice principle. Take us through the Phumelelo. Are you saying that is allowed? If yes, what then? What probe are you going to be? What are we doing? Because the person is no longer a minister of this particular portfolio. You'll take us through that particular thing, and I'll then going to go back to responding to members what they've said themselves. Phumelelo?
Important to add to you for the
Desiree,
legal person to
close your mic,
respond
close
to.
your mic. Maybe let me indicate to you. Again, we've got rules in Parliament. You know, you don't just open your mic.
Jay, you must also give us
Desiree,
an
you don't
opportunity
just open
to
your
raise
mic,
an important
and you
matter
don't-
that the legal
and you
rep must
don't-
answer.
You don't speak over the chair. Those are the rules. Don't want me to exercise the rules on you. Yeah, no, I will. Yeah, so you.
Is that the committee is doing its functions, and its functions include ascertaining and obtaining evidence and getting information in various forms within the mandate and the provisions that I have outlined, because Parliament is a creature of statute. There's absolutely nothing that Parliament can do and its committees can extensively and extended do without a direct provision that is guiding the members what to do. So that said, Chairperson, I want specifically as an answer to read section 92(2) and subsection 3B for members without me having to interpret it or give any meaning to it. But as it states, it says, members of the cabinet are accountable collectively and individually to Parliament for the exercise of their powers and the performance of their functions. Members of the cabinet. Subsection 3B, members of the cabinet, in accordance with the Constitution, must provide Parliament with full and regular reports concerning matters under their control. The point we are at now, the chairperson has alluded, the minister has been removed. The minister no longer falls within section 92. But the proceedings of the committee does not stop based on the fact that a specific person has been removed, because the Department of Higher Education still exists. Now, it is the ambit within which you must address what still needs to be addressed, that must be corrected and be fairly and procedurally and legally so. That is my response, Chairperson. Thank you.
No, thank you. There's a clear distinction between ministry and department. The department still exists, we all agree. And we're going, like I said earlier on, we're going to continue with that part. But the, what do you call this thing? The section 92, subsection 2 of the Constitution that says ministers or members of cabinet are individually and collectively accountable to Parliament. Means that Dr. Ngabane is no longer a false part of that. She's not a member of cabinet as things stand. So I fully agree with you. I'm going to give you, I don't know, is that a point of order?
Not necessarily a point of order. I do think it's fair that we are able to register alternative views or differing views. Mine is the legal advisors for Parliament is correct in that cabinet ministers are supposed to come and account. But there's a missing link here that is not being considered. Here's the link. And the link lists in 3 sets of legislation. One being Rule 167 of the National Assembly Rules, read concurrently with Section 14, subsection 2 of the Powers Act, the Powers, Privileges and Immunities Act of Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act 4 of 2004, empowered under Section 56 of the Constitution. If Kibala alone, Chapter 5 of the Powers, Privileges and Immunities of Parliament, that's subsection 14 of it, it makes specific reference, and I quote open, the committee can summons any person to appear before it to give evidence or oath and affirmation to produce documents. So while it is true that Minister Ngabane is no longer a minister of this committee, reporting to this committee, what is true is that what we are investigating here, what we're conducting oversight here, is not concluded. This committee hasn't concluded its work. And so in order for us to give her the right of reply, which she can deny if she doesn't want to come get it, and then we can fight her to get it. But the bottom line is, if she doesn't want to come here, she's still an MP. It's very easy to give a summons letter to her for her to come here, as is empowered by the 3 sets of legislation that I've given you, as that being the case. Number 2, the point here is, which I think the legal team is saying, this committee can still continue with its work by engaging the any persons. So the argument of ministry no longer being there and therefore ministry no longer having a need to serve before this committee on an unconcluded agenda item of this committee, that argument doesn't hold. So if we're not going to have them today, then committee will have to move that they must be summoned to come back with their minister.
Okay. No one is arguing anything about summons here. No one is arguing. The point here is, when you are doing inquiry, maybe that's the point you guys are missing. What were you doing an inquiry for? Desiree, yes. What were you doing an inquiry for?
Well,
and if you say you want to continue, are continuing with what?
okay, I'll make it very easy, Chairperson, because you signed the letters that went to officials to come and appear, officials and panelists and whatever you want to call them. And that letters were sent to individuals, and it read, a request for information in respect of my, whoever they are, role in the advisory panel for the selection and recommendation of CETA's accounting authority chairpersons. So people were summoned to come and explain their role, not minister what. And I think it is greatly unfair to allow some officials, an advocate to come here on the bar in Joburg, to come and expose themselves, but others, we don't want to do that. And that unfairness is going to haunt us, Chairperson. And really, I also think, we should also investigate the Public Service Commission on some of these matters, because that's also relevant. Okay. But we will not stop in getting people here to account. Yeah. Same as the previous minister. The officials or the panelist members got letters from you, signed by you, to come and explain their role. And this committee wants to hear that.
Yes. The letters, if you remember, I've said this thing. I don't think we're listening to another. I'll give you Honorable Nguban. But when we sent them these letters, what was the context? The context was the members were saying, you believe the minister has misled Parliament about this panel. And you wondered, that's why when I wrote the letter, I said they must come and explain their roles. It was in that context of what you guys were doing an inquiry on. So don't move the context out of it. That's why I was saying, when you answer what was the purpose of this thing. That is the purpose of this thing, you know. And I'm going to give you the Dengubani just now. That was the purpose. Now you want to shift goalposts. You want now to do an inquiry on what? That's what you must then answer. No,
Chairperson, thanks. I think, Chair, you need to be fair to us as well. We have strong views as well. And I see other members want to think that they're the only one who have strong views on this matter. I would like to repeat again what I said. This committee is not a commission of inquiry perpetually.
Yeah.
We're not going to delve into that forever. We'll be querying people of what they did before, what they did on the 6th Parliament, what happened. Chair, what I said, I'm repeating again. Let's ascertain the remaining information wherever we can get it. If we get it, conclude by writing our report on the matter after we've gathered all the remaining information to those that we've requested, to supplement on the information that we received last week. And I highlighted again, and maybe it was mild, I said this committee has achieved what it was doing to take the executive to account. So we must gather what is remaining and not be a perpetual commission of inquiry. We are not. We have a lot of work to do to take the department into account on many other work. And we are not going to be focusing on one people only forever as if we are a commission of inquiry of one matter when we see that this matter has even moved towards its conclusion on its own. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, Zondo.
No, thanks, Chair. I think, Chair, I don't want us to be seen as if we are fighting against each other, like there's someone who knows something that others they don't know. But the reality of the matter, Chair, last week, Friday, I said the two gentlemen who were within us in the meeting, I said they should not present their case. And the meeting said they should. And it's not fair to them to that because they respected the committee and came when we called them, and they were made to present their case on the matter. And I said, because the other ones are not here, let's wait for them. And the meeting said, let this one who are here present. So let's finish up, because we need to present the report of the matter to say that we got to this point. This is what the outcome of the people who were role players in this. So I think, Chair, let's give the rest, because there are allegations from the presentation of last week, which those who are here today, they need to present their case of what they know.
Yeah.
So thank you, Chair. I think we need to be fair on the matter. It will be the last day of the.
Yeah. So the material conditions of last week Friday have changed. Reality is, two colleagues who presented, the minister was going to have a right of reply. That's the big material condition that you are ignoring. I was going to respond because I know that some of you would have said we must ask them to speak, because there's no difference. The minister was still not there last week. Somebody said that. But the material conditions from last week and today are different. The colleagues who presented their case, the minister was going to be given a chance to reply to that part on what they would have alleged, right? These ones who you are saying we must, just because we must be seen to be fair, the material conditions don't allow. They have changed. The minister is not there to respond as a minister on this part. And don't forget, and I agree, this thing can't be a commission of inquiry. By the way, the issue of this panel is not legislated. It's not on any legislation. It was what the minister did herself. That is why it was, when you say it's her that must respond to this issue, it was what she termed an extra mechanism for governance, for transparency. That's what she did. So, unfortunately, the panel itself is not legislated. Even when you want to continue querying it. You must query it with that particular minister in his position or her position as the minister, because it's her who took that particular decision. Lonzi?
No, thank you, Chair. I think, Chair, the principle that we must take here, because we've got an opportunity as the Committee of Parliament to guide the future processes of the department and the ministry. So I don't want this matter to be personalized, that this is an individual matter. But part of the importance of getting the facts of the matter is that how do we avoid this from happening again in the future? And the only way of avoiding this process, because remember, one of the things that we're empowered with as not only members of parliament, but also as portfolio committees, is to introduce amendments to the Higher Education Act. I think it's something that we've always been speaking about. So at the end of this process, yes, the minister is gone, that's fine, we're past that. But I think as a committee, we must be at a level of saying, if we were to bring in an amendment, how do we bulletproof this particular process of appointment of SETA boards, of appointment of NSFAS boards, and many other appointments in the department, such that we don't have this problem? Because actually, Chair, it doesn't only start when the minister lies. It starts in the appointments themselves. When members said, why are we having politically aligned people here appointed? Why are we having children of ministers appointed? So the importance of getting all the facts towards the conclusion of the matter is such that the committee must be able to present before Parliament, say, having traveled this route, we are now proposing that to create much greater integrity around appointments in the department, this is how the process must take place. Thanks, Chair.
Governor?
Chair, maybe if Chair, you would assist this House on giving a guiding or a certain decision where it says, because we were playing a role over this panel and everything that took place, we wanted accountability, we wanted transparency, we wanted to know how did it form part in playing the roles of getting the panelist. Now that the minister is not here, how do we then close this, or which report will seal this discussion in saying this was the stand, or these were the findings from the portfolio in dealing with...
Hold on. Colleagues, you've just spoken. Yeah, please.
So maybe, Chair, if we can get a clear direction on how we close the matter, because we can't close the matter on saying the minister was removed. We did not call for a minister to be removed. We wanted the minister to come and respond. We wanted panelists to come and account. We wanted transparency in the department, because for us to achieve all these problems that we have in the higher education department, it's through accountability and transparency, and us guiding and assisting all their problems in the department and making findings. But now if we'll just stop and say, the minister has gone, so it stops. I just wanted to find out then, how do we close the report? What do we say? Okay, these were the findings, this is what took place, then this is where we concluded that the matter must be closed and deferred to a next committee on the next level. Because us sitting here and debating won't assist either. We have so many challenges in higher education, but at least we must be guided on how do we then close and defer the matter.
Mkhize?
Thank you very much, Chair. And I think there's strong consensus in saying this was a formal process. It has to be closed in a more structured, substantive way, and a substantive report must be produced. And in that report, there should be clear findings on the conduct of the minister. And for you to do that, you need to collect as much available information for you to make substantive finding expressed in writing to make a report. It therefore makes sense, if I move with what Commander Ngubane has also said, to say we have to bring it to finality, but we can't do it haphazardly. There should be a substantive report which is very inclusive of all facts available. It therefore makes it necessary for the members who are present today to also add, for us to make that substantive report as part of closing the issue.
Thank you, Chairperson. I have two proposals on how we move forward. I think the consensus in the room is that we must engage the panelists who are here today so that we can conclude our work. Two proposals. One, you are correct that the material conditions around the minister were different on Friday to today. You are right. That, however, doesn't mean just because she can't voluntarily come and because she's no longer in cabinet, that she's no longer supposed to appear before this committee. That's why then, to make sure that we thoroughly do our job and satisfy your concern about her right to reply, this committee and yourself and the chair you are sitting on give you the power to summon her to come and conclude on the matter. That way you can give her right to reply. So that's number one. Number two, Chairperson, what I'm asking here for us to consider is for us to not have these people go back. We must be able to engage with them today. Let us ventilate and move forward so that we can wrap up on this thing. Whether ethics concludes to deal with her and her fraud, that's great. That's what the DA wants in any case. Public protector must do the same. So should the Hawks, which they are busy with. So that is not an independent thing altogether. So if we're not agreeing, Chairperson, with yourself on the way forward, then I call that we vote on this matter.
It's very funny that you don't have voting powers. You're calling for a vote. Honorable Khaba? No, you don't. We have something called ATC in Parliament. Very serious. Parliament is not a Khaba.
No, thanks, Chair. Thank you very much. Let me start by apologizing for being late. Chair, we must firstly start by agreeing on an approach of closing this matter in a proper way. And a proper way is aligning our views and submissions with the legislated processes that leads to the appointment of your board chairpersons, Honorable Chairperson. I'm raising this because of if we were to sit here and hold people accountable whom are not here, would fall into a trap of a fishing expedition that we see some of the members have embarked on. And unfortunately, this fishing expedition at the center of it, it's an intention to score cheap political points using this process. Now, let us put issues into proper perspective. We are not an investigative committee. Our role is to play oversight on the work that has been done by the executive. Now, our role in this process was to get an understanding from the minister as to what led or which process has she followed that led to the appointment of chairpersons. Maybe, Chairperson, let me pause here and appreciate the proactiveness of the President, the only Commander-in-Chief, Honorable Lonzi in South Africa, for responding to the outcry of the people. But we must also equally demystify the cat and mouse battle that we see between the Democratic Alliance, the EFF, including the Mkondo Wesizwe, with an intention of presenting themselves. You know, there is a sudden confidence that is mushrooming from some of the members. As in when we are speaking, we are being interjected deliberately. But that issue will be attended to. But like we have correctly said, we have equally, as much as we appreciate the role of the president in not only taking the correct decision, but the right decision of reaffirming the relevance and the importance of the TVET, of the DHET sector in our country. I'm raising this because of it cannot be right that when the president has responded to the outcry of South Africans in relation to the position of the minister of this country, especially emanating from processes of the appointment of board chairpersons, would want to reduce this process to a political battle or would be squabbling as to who started the process and who was not there when the process started. I'm raising this because of when you listen to some of the honorable members, they are basically advancing what they've been perpetuating in the public narrative. MK is still struggling to grapple as to whether is it the EFF or is it MK who started this issue. We are not interested in those petty political squabble. Our arrangement here or our area of focus is to close this matter in a correct way. And closing this matter in a correct way, it's as simple as this one, Chairperson. One, the minister cannot be protected, Honorable Chair. I'm worried. I mean, probably there is a need for you to call another security, because as in when we are speaking, people are continuously disrupting us. But the correct way of closing this matter, Chairperson, firstly is to agree that the President has taken a decision of removing the minister, even though that was not our initial call of removal of the minister. Our initial call was the minister to come and respond. So today there is no minister. And second to that, it will be wrong of us as a committee to want to continue holding the minister accountable, who is not the minister, because the process outlines, or the process leading to the appointment of board chairperson, it specifically deals with the minister. It says the minister must appoint. Now, Honorable Nkabane, as an ordinary member, just like myself and yourself, Honorable Mkize, in which capacity, if other members would want to pursue this matter with the ethics committee through their investigative process, let them continue that, but they must not reduce this committee to an investigative arm of parliament. That is my first issue, Chairperson. The second issue is that we must be able to separate issues in a sense that we wanted to hold the minister accountable. That one is a closed one. But we equally need to scrutinize, Chairperson, as a way of closing this matter in a very nice way, Honorable Nguman. We need to scrutinize the role of administration that it has played in the process. That one is a separate matter that I believe as a committee we can agree as to when are we going to interact, or when are we going to process this matter of the role of the administration. Because for today's purpose was specifically to deal with the minister. The minister is not here, and we are happy that the president has taken a correct decision in making sure that he retains the integrity of our standing in society as the African National Congress. But thirdly, Chairperson, as a way of closing this matter, I would propose that we do not disregard the role of the administration in the process. I would not want us to wish away the role of administration. We would still have to hold administration accountable. If it means that we must call for a thorough investigation on a proper role that they has played, we must do that, Chairperson. And with that being said, of which is something that is rare that happens, I agree with the proposal of Honorable Ngubane in terms of the approach on how we should close this matter. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much. Before you arrived, members were having caucus outside. So maybe I think you also want to have your own caucus. This having a meeting inside a meeting is not helping. Colleagues, I've listened to many of you a lot of times, for a long time. So there's two things here. There's one proposal that says these panelists, when they came here, they were going to read their letters that they'd written to us into the records. And the minister was going to have an opportunity to respond. Now that the minister will not have an opportunity to respond as the minister, the proposal is that we don't allow them to continue, because we will be accused of prejudicing against somebody else. Then the second proposal is that we allow them to read their statements into the record, and then we can summon the minister as, I don't know what, to come and respond to those things. Because she will not be coming as a minister, she will come as a member of parliament to come and respond to one, the allegations that would have been made by the panelist, and she must respond as a former minister. So legal has given us, which I said earlier on, their opinion earlier on that it will not make sense for us to take option 2, but members are saying we have strong views that they must give us those things because they are here. So there's those two options, members. Whether we ask them, so I'm going to ask you to speak only on those, not speak, we are going to vote on those two. So Honorable Khachau claims that she's a full member because she can act on behalf of an absent member according to the rules. So we'll allow her to participate. Mkize will be, you will watch as we vote. So we've closed the door for voting. The option one is we don't ask them to read their statement into the record because of reason provided. Two, we ask them to read their thing into their records. No, we're voting now. So what clarity?
I think the clarity is on the language we're using. There's a difference between reading on your record and us engaging. Are you?
Yeah,
I just
when
want
they
to
read
get
into
clarity.
the record, it means we will engage
We'll
with
engage.
them.
Okay, thank you.
That is, yeah. So let's hear. We'll start with you. We've closed the door there. Let's vote.
I, Karabo Lerato Khachau, as an alternate member of this committee, stepping in on behalf of Mayor Maseko of the Democratic Alliance, vote that the second option, vote in favor of the second option, that the members of the so-called panel are able to present before this committee and that this committee engages them.
Desiree?
Chair, I, Desiree van der Walt, herewith support the proposal that the members read into the records their involvement.
Honorable Souls?
With the understanding that the process of investigating the matter will not stop, it will just happen in another structure. I vote option 2. Which is they don't need to read it in the record here. They can do it
that's
within the
option
other
one.
structures. Is that option?
Yeah.
Option what is that?
That they don't read into the record.
Is that option 1?
Yeah.
Then I'm for option 1.
Yeah. Souls, when Alonzi.
I am shocked by Honorable Souls. I can't believe it. But politics is like that. I, Sihle Lonzi, Member of Parliament deployed by the Economic Freedom Fighters, vote that so that we can conclude this matter. All the members who are here must finalize their reports. We must engage with it. Let us not participate in another cover-up. This is what made this matter to blow up in the beginning, and you are helping this committee
Honorable
chair
Lonzi.
to participate in a cover-up.
Okay.
And what we're just humbly asking you,
Honorable Holmes,
please
it's
don't
okay.
repeat the same mistake.
It's okay.
Thank you, Chair.
We're voting. I've allowed you to speak. We're now voting.
Thank you, Chair. I, Sihle Ngubane, deployed here by the official opposition in government. I support that we ascertain today the remaining information for this committee, and then we dissect whatever from those remaining panel members, and then we then write a report and conclude the matter once we've gathered the facts for the remaining panel members. Thank you, Chair.
Msazan?
No, thanks, Chair. Members have had a lot to say, including Honorable Khabo behind me here, who was really expressing his political analysis and his thoughts about a number of things. Chair, I'm going to support the fact that the panel members that are here present their case, and I would have hoped that we would have made a clear discussion that in order for us to deal with this matter, both the former minister and the panel members would have been in the same room so that we would have dealt with the matter once and for all. But under the circumstances, it peers that would have to deal with what we have now, then we'll call her separately to deal with her. Thank you very much.
Khabo?
No, thank you very much, Chair. I, Khawlatle Khabo, member of this portfolio, representing the African National Congress, I vote in favor of option 1.
Okay. Younger?
Option 1, Chair.
You know, this thing of continuing to fight for no reason.
Let's
Why are
close
you
your mic.
fighting?
Why is it I'm protecting?
Let's close your mics.
Went on automatically, Chair.
Yeah, but don't you have to ATC? She was at ATC. Okay. Yeah, so when the other member is absent, so she acts as a member. Okay. Colleagues, let's continue. With a very suspicious vote. No, I don't caucus. I don't caucus. With a very suspicious vote of Honorable Khakao, which was still determining whether it stands or not. Members have decided that we must take the statements of members of the panel into the panel. Leave excitement. You're excited. Did you take too much sweets today? No. He was He was close outside. Colleagues, we don't have enough time. At the one who must leave. But we are wasting time. Let's get into the business. So I'm going to allow members to read their statements into the records. We had received them in writing. So we'll start with DG Ngwenya. You'll read your statement into the records. I'm still going to write or have a session with legal about this because I think I've got a responsibility to protect the integrity of the sitting. We'll have a sitting with legal to discuss whether what we are doing is correct or not. So I'm going to give you to DG Ngwenya. Take us through with your letter.
Good morning, Honorable Chair, honorable members.
Far? Let's be closer to the mic.
Good morning, Honorable Chair, honorable members, DG, and colleagues.
Hold on, DG. Colleagues, please. I've said that it's almost 11. We don't have time. We must be out of here at 1. Please.
Thank you, Chair. May I request, before I read out the statement, to just say a few words, with your permission. At the meeting of the 18th of July, 2025, my apology for not attending the meeting was tendered. But beyond the apology, there were unintended implications for the Office of the Director General, which I profoundly regret. It was me just trying to provide the context of the apology, but it created some aspersion to the office, and I want to sincerely apologize. The letter...
Hold on. What is the point of order?
Thank you, Chair. The point of order was on procedure. Remember, in the last sitting, people were asked to take oath for their presentations. Advocate Terumotao and Ndate Ngubane. That has not been followed for the panelists here. Please, can we follow suit?
Okay. No, I think it's in order. For the first time today, at least we are in order. I'm joking, Honorable Khakhar. Ms. Ngema, if you can help us with our people to take oath for affirmation.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, unfortunately, I don't have the names of the panel members that are talking today, so I'm going to request them to first say their names, then I'll administer the oath.
DG Ngwenya.
Ma'am, who is already on the podium, may I request that you loudly, for the record, indicate your full names. Thank you.
Rulani Ngwenya.
Ms. Ngwenya, do you swear that the evidence you are about to give and the information you will present before the committee today is the truth and nothing else but the truth? You have two options to make that indication. You can indicate either via oath or an affirmation. If it's an oath, you are swearing before God. If it's an affirmation, you confirm through your conscience that you will speak the truth. Which one do you choose between an oath and affirmation?
An oath, please.
I'm going to repeat again then. Do you swear that the evidence and the information you're about to give today before the committee will be the truth and nothing but the truth? If it is so, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you, Chairperson. The oath has been administered.
Nelisiwa, please say your names.
Nelisiwe Semane,
Ms. Semane, I have to administer an oath for the evidence or affirmation on the information you will indicate. Please tell this committee which one you choose between the oath and an affirmation.
oath, please.
Ms. Semane, do you swear that the evidence and the information you will give before the committee today is the truth and nothing but the truth? If it is so, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you, Chairperson. Oath administered.
Solane.
My name is Asisi Posolan.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Zolani, do you choose an oath or an affirmation for the evidence and information you are about to give before the committee today?
I choose the oath.
Please raise your right hand and confirm that the information and evidence you are about to give before the committee today will be the truth and nothing but the truth. If that is the case, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you. Oath administered, Chairperson.
Didi Jingwenya, can continue.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair. It is a letter that was directed to the Honorable T.W. Letsie. It is a letter that was directed to the Honorable T.W. Letsie, following a request to provide information in respect of my role in the advisory panel for the selection and recommendation of SETA Accounting Authority chairpersons. And the letter reads thus. Your correspondence dated 19 June 2025 bears reference. In September-October 2024, following consultation between the Director General Dr. Sishi and the Honorable Minister Dr. Nobuhle Ngabane, a decision was taken to relocate the responsibility of managing nominations for non-executive board members for entities within the department to the program corporate services. While I accepted the transfer of this function, I also indicated that due to the high vacancy rate at both middle and senior management within the Chief Directorate Human Resources, and given the confidential nature of the function, I will be required to undertake the responsibilities personally. In March 2025, I was formally appointed and or assigned through a written correspondence by the Honorable Minister to provide secretarial support function to the nomination panel responsible for the selection of chairpersons of SETA Accounting Authority. I viewed this as an assignment of duty rather than a formal appointment, and as such, I did not deem it necessary to formally accept the assignment in writing. I was neither compensated nor remunerated against my appointment as a secretariat. I wish to clarify
that all communications with Advocate Terry Mutau, SC, was undertaken as part of my secretarial support services to the nomination panel. I contacted Advocate Terry Mutau via telephone and also on WhatsApp, and strictly for the purpose of securing Advocate Mutau's availability in order to facilitate a nomination panel meeting. I was not involved in the approval process of the 21 nominees who were ultimately appointed as chairpersons of various SETA's accounting authorities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Masimane.
My letter was addressed to Honorable Letty, the chairperson. It says, I acknowledge receipt of your letter dated 19 June 2025. I am a Chief of Staff in the Office of the Minister of Higher Education. While my name appears on the list of panel members for the selection and recommendation of SETA's Accounting Authority chairpersons, it is because the Minister submitted a list that includes all the panels that she appointed since taking office. I did not participate in the selection and recommendation of SETA Accounting Authority chairpersons, but participated in the process for the recommendation of SETA accounting authorities, not board chairpersons. The Minister's list of panel members was all-inclusive and did not make distinction between participation in accounting authorities and participating in SETA board chairpersons selection and recommendation. As a public servant, I was not paid any additional remuneration for my participation in the selection and recommendation of accounting authorities. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Solani.
Thank you, Chair. My letter was in response to Honorable W.T. Letty, the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Higher Education and Training. And the letter reads as follows. Dear Honorable Letty, in response to the request for the information and respect in my role in the nomination process for the selection and recommendations of the SETA Authority chairperson, I acknowledge the receipt of your letter dated 19 June 2025, and I have attached a marked annexure of the letter issued by the Minister formally appointing me for the nomination committee. And I've also attached the annexure B, which is the terms of reference presented in the Portfolio Committee on the 30th of May. And I do confirm that I did not receive any additional payment, allowances, or investment in respect to my participation on the nomination committee. I discharged this role in my capacity as advisor to the Minister. No compensation beyond my regular salary was provided. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. There was a letter I'm trying to search for it, which we addressed to the DG. We've not received a response. I'm not sure. We'll have to check. But DG, there was a letter written to us by somebody who said they've received. Oh, that open it, the response. That they were coerced into being members of the panel, and so this person wrote to us, does not have a date, but we got it And this person says to us, I'm going to read their letter, which I want us to, when you respond, I'm sure members will ask you questions on it. We'll also read the response. So this person says, this is my personal account and comes at a time when my life has been threatened for refusing to put my name into a non-existing independent panel for SITA appointments. I was approached by Mr. Sipho Solani, whom I had worked with in one of the ministries in government. My coming out is informed by the gallant spirit of our forebears, who want us not to auction our revolution. As I write this, I'm heavily pregnant, and just like Mama Thandi Modise, who gave birth in person, I'm not scared to come out. Asi had approached me 2 days after the president had requested the report from the minister on the city appointments and her behavior in parliament. He assured that my name would be protected and that because I was a junior official doing an MBA, I will not be called to account for my involvement by any state or government apparatus. As a young mother, I was promised that the future of my children would be taken care of and would be rewarded once the matter had died down. I considered this request as a cover-up and was not happy with the terms of arrangement. I remembered Comrade Jonas when the Guptas tried to bribe him. Okay, sorry, let me read the letter. Okay, apologies. I will pretend as if he or she did not mention the Guptas. Can I continue? This thing of the Guptas doesn't sit well with MK. I'm sorry, but let me read the letter.
Chair, on a point of order, that's very important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see, Desiree, you raise your hand. You raise your hand, not open the mic. What is your point of order?
Well, my point is order. Can you continue reading and ignore the humbly, like you normally stop me when I interject?
Okay. Okay. No, I'm reading everything. What is the problem? Because I'm continuing.
Chairperson, you know, very little things soil the integrity and our image as this committee. What you are reading is a very important letter from somebody who I can term a whistleblower about the process, which is why we're here. We can't mud it by making jokes about it. And if the MK party is aggrieved about their history, it's not something that this committee should deliberate on right now. Please, can I protect you on behalf of yourself?
No.
Continue and read the letter, please.
You are provoking those people. You see this thing of political statements. Yes, Mr.
Mhlambe Chair, kumele siyekele into yesingisi because we did not go to multiracial schools. Chair, the letter or WhatsApp that you are reading is very, well, from where I'm seated, seems very important. We would appreciate a situation where, Chair, you share it with us so that we can also have a point of reference, because now people are very excited. MK doesn't have history of anything that is contained in that letter or WhatsApp that you are reading. So people must not be excited. Can we really be orderly? I don't want to say the meeting is degenerating because people went to Twitter and everywhere else just to score points about saying degenerate. So can we be orderly, Chair, and focus on what we are doing? Thank you very much.
Okay. Send right. Zondo, you don't have a point of order.
In fact, I raised my hand, Chair, before Mrs. Zana. Thanks for giving this opportunity. I think, Chair, we have a limited time. we need to continue. Let's stop playing. This is an important matter.
Thank you.
Please continue to read whatever word that is written there, but please share it with us. Those.
Thank you. So at least I've allowed you to speak. You'll allow me to read now. So we'll not have any bickering. Okay, I'm continuing. I considered this request as a cover-up and was not happy with the terms of arrangement. I remembered Comrade Jonas when the Guptas tried to bribe him. I literally cringed when Mr. Solani said he had himself taken a huge gamble and that we were going to be protected. Apparently, he had also arranged meetings with some lawyer who was supposed to be the chairperson of the panel. I never met with any panel member. As a young former activist in the Youth League, I was caught in the crosshairs. Oh, yeah, the first, you know it. Crosshairs, as I could not betray my own comrades. However, when I was pushed to have my name released, I spoke to our family trustee and she advised that I rebuff the request. This was communicated to Mr. Solani and encouraged me to be on board as the popular protected us. I was advised by a family trustee that this matter was in the public already and in the interest of the public. I then refused to have my name released and was then threatened that I would lose my job as my boss was a junior to the minister. I'm coming out because I'm likely to be victimized and that these threats are now mutating into criminal behavior. But I'm a committed South African who saw how corruption in the city stole from the poor of the poorest. I'm disappointed that the pressure I'm being put under is happening under our lofty and celebrated constitution, where the people who are supposed to be our guardians, just as we celebrated the anniversary of the Constitutional Court. What a disgrace. I'm suspended for my refusal to lie. I'm ready to come out. This is not a threat but a commitment to a clean, corrupt-free country. Where is that letter? Give it to me now. Or you opened it there. So we then wrote to the department to respond. And I do have a letter dated, when was this? 1711, dated 11 July. It reads as follows. Response to allegations leveled against Mr. Solani, advisor to the minister. Hold on. Okay. Response to the allegations against Mr. Solani, bracket advisors to the minister by Ms. Dilega Mbuso. The above heading, as well as your letter to me dated 25 June, which is attached here and marked Annexure A best reference. I've read the undated letter containing the allegations raised by Ms. Dilega Mbuso and attached it herein marked Annexure B. Subsequent to me having read the letter, I undertaken a departmental internal investigation to ascertain the Directorate Human Resource condition of service as to the employment status of Ndilega Mbuso. The investigation revealed that Ms. Ndilega Mbuso is not an employee of the department as alleged in her letter, and her allegations are therefore not true and misleading. Kindly see Ms. Chamani's email on 8 July, which stated that the official referred to in your correspondence is not in the post establishment attached here and marked Annexure C. I hope my response clarifies the chairperson's letter to me. So I thought I must just read that information to you so that when you engage with members, You also engage on that. So we are now, before I give members to engage, let me see. Yeah, where are those minutes? Because you have a tendency of not passing minutes. You run away after you've asked questions. We've sent you emails, minutes that must be, and the report that must be adopted, the dates. Yeah, the minutes are 2 July, 16 July, and 18 July. 18 July was last Friday. So those are the minutes we've sent you. Can I see anyone with the hands that seeks to correct any of the minutes? No correction. Can I see anybody who's adopting the minutes of the 3 sets of minutes? So you're not adopting your own minutes. So it means you can't raise your hand for questions because you participated in those minutes, most. Zondo?
Chair, I think I've looked at the minutes, and one meeting I sent an apology. So if it's a package, I can't adopt them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are adopting which ones? Which ones are you adopting?
all those, the two that I was present in resident adoption. Procedural, I can't adopt them.
When were you absent? The 16th? On Wednesday, ne? Yeah.
Yeah, Wednesday I sent an apology.
So you are moving for the adoption of the 2nd and the 18th of,
Yes, Chair.
of July. Can I get a seconder for those ones? The 2nd and the 18th of July. Honorable Ngubane?
I second them, Chair. Yes.
Thank you. Can I have somebody who moves for the adoption of the meeting of the 16th of July, last week Wednesday? Honorable Khabo?
Chair, I move for the adoption of the minutes of the 16th of July as a true reflection.
Can I get a seconder? Honorable Yang?
A second, Chair.
Then we've also sent you a G20 report for those who went there. At least 4 of us, or 5 of us, 1, 2, 3. When we went to G20, we sent you a G20 in Durban, sent you a report on what we saw there. And it's a report that we felt we must submit to Parliament, especially when it comes to GBV. So we've sent it to you some time back. Honorable Zondo, Honorable Governor, Honorable Mseza, Honorable Ngubane and myself were there. Can I get somebody who would move for the adoption of that particular report? Honorable Mseza?
Angibonge Sihlalo, I move for the adoption of the minutes of that oversight.
Honorable Zondo, ngigqoke amabhanyesha afanayo namhlanje. Honorable Zondo.
No, I'm seconding.
Thank you very much. The report is seconded. Well done. So let's go now to engagement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and Vaneng 11. So because you are 11, I'm trying to divide my time here so that I can see. Okay. It's 11:15. So each one of us will have 7 minutes. I am going to start with Honorable Zondo. You will be number 1. Hold on. Honorable Yanga will be number 2. Lonzi, 3. Mkize, 4. Gau 5. There's 06. Msizana. Ubane. Souls. Gabo. Yeah. Honorable Zondo, your clock starts now.
Can I be number 2, Chair? There's something that I'm sorting out.
No. Let's go.
All right, thanks, Chair. There's something that I lost here in my phone, so I was trying to locate it so that I will be precise on my questioning in terms of the names. But my first question to Mr. Solani is that, have you ever met Advocate Mudau? Yes, Mudau. Have you ever met Advocate Mudau?
Yes, Honorable Member, I have.
In your discussion with Advocate Mudau, is there anything that you talk about that pertaining the process of appointing the panel or appointing the board, the setup boards?
Can you be explicit, member, in your, so that I can get a sense of exactly of the question?
No, the question is straight. You said you interacted with Advocate Mudau, and then I'm saying in your interaction, in whatever way, did you interact and touch the processes and the proceedings to appoint the panel or to be part of the panel?
Well, our interaction with Advocate Terry Mutau was of the overview process that ought to be followed. So he had not yet got into any details of the process.
Okay. When you interacted with Advocate Mudau, your interaction was, he was on which capacity?
When you are saying member, which capacity, again, I will request for you to become clear on the question.
When the minister was telling us about the panel, there was a point whereby he said Advocate Mudau was to be a chairperson. And Advocate Mudau said there was no meeting that he ever set of the panel, let alone chairing it. And last week, Advocate said that he had a meeting with you, and that's why I'm asking your discussion on those meetings, and where did you left it?
Okay, like I would have mentioned earlier, the meeting with Advocate Terry was to have an introductory and an overview discussion on the process that was going to follow. And that was the essence of that brief meeting.
Then what happened next after that discussion?
Again, I'm going to request you to be more explicit when you're saying what happened next. Exactly what are you?
You said you had a meeting with the advocate, and then the next step, because advocate told us that the last time we spoke to you, you were preparing for a next meeting, and that next meeting you were nowhere to be found, and thereafter he saw his name appear to be the chairperson of the panel. Then that's why I want to get your involvement in terms of facilitating the panel, because remember what you said in the opening statement. Then I want to align that with what we know. So can you not play around because my time is going? Please, be precise, give us answers that we want. Your interaction with advocate and why that interaction didn't materialize into the desired outcome.
Okay, I think it becomes critical, honorable member, for me to be able to give a context. So, and I've met with the advocate Terry, and I've met him once. It would be a firstly introductory session to have a conversation around the process that is going to unfold, as the minister would have requested. And unfortunately, we did not meet thereafter. And of course, the convening of the meetings would have not been would have been a secretary that would run convening of the meetings and setting up. But I do think on hindsight that in two folds. The first aspect would have been an incomplete process of appointing Advocate Tau in terms of having an attorney to instruct. And that would then begin to nullify his appointment process, that it was not there. It remains an intention. If we look at it, he brings that into perspective. But we will not be able to meet after that. And I think also the issues of time frame and schedules just really could not, and the time was very little and there's pressure on that. So with Advocate, I met to discuss the overview process, that there's this assignment and yeah, that's my interaction with Advocate.
Okay, you know, that's why Chair said we need Advocate. I'm happy that Nkubane is here. Because Advocate said that when you met him, you came with a time frame for that the minister has given you to execute. And his response that I think made you to teach him was to say this time frame is not possible. Then when we are diving like this, you are telling me that what Advocate said, it is the truth of the matter, and you don't want to respond on that.
Thank you. It was a comment that you're saying. Honorable Govan.
Chair, I think looking at the responses and the letters, it really does limit our time to engage with panelists, so-called panelists, because all of them did not participate. So it's actually time-consuming to even ask them questions because they were not part of panels in any panel sitting meeting. So from where I'm standing, Chair, the only thing that I can comment on this matter will be those who are still within the department, for future references, may they execute duties that are legislated within their scope of work so that we do not come back to these meetings of interrogating their capacity or capability of doing their work. Because others, Chair, by virtue of their work, they were supposed to execute this task, either whether they were written a letter or not, but they were supposed to be part and panel of this recruitment. And also, maybe we'll just go to the meeting that was last week. There were some members, some invitees that did not attend the meeting. Maybe caution for the next time that if really you are called to account, it's proper that you do. And we must not find our spaces, we must not find ourselves feeling that we are being disrespected by you while you are in the department and you are obligated to come and account on the committee. But Chair, this thing is like saying, do you know Yanga, whereas you have never met Yanga? So they don't know anything. That's why I kept on saying, Shemez's aramazazinto, sifuna ntoni kuzo.
Okay. Lonzi?
No, thank you, Chair. Sifun is Aram, Chair. Titi Ngwenya. How many meetings of the advisory independent panel did you participate in?
I did not participate in any formal. I did not participate in any formal meeting of the advisory, though I have had discussions with various people about the process.
So there were no meetings?
That I attended, no.
So how do you think the 21 names came about? Because the report that we are getting, at least from all of you, even from the ones that are saying they didn't participate in meetings, is that the core business of this panel, because there's the functionary of the department fetching the nominations and whatever, but the core business of this panel was to arrive at the 21 names which must then be appointed as chairs of SITA boards. The son of Gwede Mantashe was appointed as a result of this panel. Even the current, they just appointed now deputy minister. I'm waiting for her. Currently, the deputy minister was just been appointed. The former premier of the ANC in KZN was also appointed in those boards. So if there were no meetings, how did we get to those names, according to your understanding, as someone who has experience and has been dealing with this thing in the department?
I don't know what process will have been followed. Responding generally will be that the panel will have said it is not more making recommendations, because the mandate of the panel was to review the list of nominations and recommend a pool of suitable candidates from which the minister will finally make a selection.
But you're saying there was no meeting, DDG?
Yes, I've responded, Honorable Member, to say I don't know the process. The second part, I was just responding generally, but I have no idea.
And you have never received a meeting invite?
I should have been the one to set up the meeting invite.
Even worse, you are the one who was supposed to set up the meeting. But there was not a single meeting that set of the panel. But there are 21 names. The son of Gwede is there. ANC comrades are there. Former premier of KZN is there. And the secretary of the panel, which is yourself, you are saying you never set up any meeting. Am I understanding you correctly, DDG?
Yes, Honorable Member.
No, thank you, DDG. Mr. Chief of Staff, how many meetings did you participate in the panel?
Honorable Member, like I said in my letter, I was not part of the panel for the board chairpersons. So
Were you sent a letter to appoint you?
May you please repeat that?
Were you sent a letter to appoint you to the panel?
No.
But your name was on the list?
Yes.
How did it arrive there?
My name was there because I participated in the selection of SITA accounting authorities, not
but
the board chairpersons.
our request, if you listen to the portfolio committee meeting, was specifically on the point of the accounting authority chairpersons. We don't dispute the process of accounting authorities. The coordinator of SITA has explained it to us. He was here. to say you will gazette, all of you, we know you would have participated. We're not discussing that. We're discussing the board chairpersons. Your name appeared as having participated in that process, and you are saying you didn't participate. So how would you explain? How did it get there?
Like I said, the minister put my name there not because I was part of the chairpersons, only the members. The only thing I would have done in the process of chairpersons was to receive the communication to the minister, not that I participated in any selection of the
But the minister
chairpersons.
was asked about the panel of chairpersons and said you are in the panel of chairpersons. We're not talking about the other ordinary board members. The panel of chairpersons was very specific, and your name was there, and you are saying you didn't participate in it.
Honorable member, I cannot respond on behalf of the minister, so I don't know.
No, thank you very much. Lastly, Mr. Solani, how many meetings of the panel did you participate in?
I think, honorable member, as the secretariat of the panel would have mentioned, that the secretariat would have been discharged with the responsibility, one, to take the minutes, also to convene the meetings of the panel.
So, okay, so you are concurring with the secretary that there was no meeting?
Please, honorable member, can you allow me to make my point?
I don't have time, that's why. So I just want the questions to be, the responses to be pointed. I'm left with less than 50 seconds. Because if you are captured by the secretary, then I want to move on. That there was no meeting of the panel.
Yes, if the secretariat of the panel did not convene the meeting, therefore there was no meeting of the panel.
And you also would know this because you've never sat in one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you don't need the secretary to confirm it. You know yourself that you never sat in any meeting, so there was no meeting.
The point honorable member was trying to make is that even if we were to sit a meeting, if the meeting is not convened by the person that is discharged with that responsibility, the legitimacy of that meeting becomes questionable.
Last question to the DG of the department, then I close, Chair. DG, now we've asked everyone in your department. The coordinator of CETA spoke to us last week. Advocate Tari spoke to us. The DDG, Chief of Staff, including the advisor. Because remember, part of what we're trying to achieve here is that we don't want this to repeat itself. That's why we insisted to conclude this process. It's not about the minister. It's not a personal battle. We're trying to create a law and a legislation that is going to guide the future appointments of CETA board chairpersons and the like. So my question to you then is, if there was no meeting of the panel, if the secretary never called any meeting, effectively there was no panel, where do you think those names would have come from? And as a follow-up to that, how would you advise that moving forward, this process must take place? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. It is very clear to me from what the colleagues are saying that there weren't any meetings that were held. So clearly, I think answers about names that were considered could come from the accounting authority, who then produced the list that was tabled to the National Skills Authority. Because the first time I saw the list was when I attended the meeting of the National Skills Authority, at which it was tabled for approval.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Yeah, your time had long expired, so it's grace. I'm giving you from my... No, now you are abusing it. DG.
I think
I could answer on behalf of all DGs because the answer will be the same. It's important to give the accounting officers the responsibility so that you hold them accountable for administrative processes. So going forward, I think what will happen is that we'll have to follow the law, follow the policies, follow the prescripts of the law in terms of how these processes are. If we are unhappy with the processes, we amend the law and follow it because it assists the transparency of the process. But we must also allow for innovation. For example, I have no problem with an issue of an independent panel. I can tell you, I have run national exams for this country for more than 20 years. Independent panels of examiners is what I've been doing over many years. We've developed processes for developing them. There's never been controversy. Instead, integrity of those processes has been the cornerstone of and hallmark of our processes. So I never had a problem with the notion of an arm's length team of people who have the expertise to support the minister to arrive at a set of recommendations. So going forward, I will still propose some kind of process a little distant from just the people who are there to process matters. I will still recommend that we write it in the law that such a panel is established. If we write it in the law, it will assist us to hold them accountable should anything happen in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. I will start with Mr. Solani. Greetings, member. Here you have stated in your letter that you participated in the committee as an advisor to the minister. May you please share with this committee, how was your participation in the process?
I think it becomes, because I would have been playing a responsibility of being an advisor to the minister and ultimately had received a appointment letter for advisor of the panel. So now it becomes very, especially in an event where the panel did not actually convene, to then say distinguish some of the responsibilities that we have discharged. But I would have been playing a role of being able to communicate as well with other members on certain interventions and what minister would have requested that must be done. So it becomes a thin line, in particularly in a process that we're saying there was never a meeting that was convened to sit as a panel.
So basically, advisors provide technical advices, technical, procedural, as experts. I'm just looking to those specifically. Did you perhaps, one way or the other, give an advice or a recommendation of a particular candidate to be appointed after your expert consideration?
So the honourable member is asking if I would have given a particular name recommended.
Yes, as an expert, because that's why you're an advisor. Did you, one way or the other, advise the minister to appoint a particular candidate as per your expert understanding?
I think the process would...
Switch off your mic, let me protect the member. They are here as panelists. So they are here to speak on the roles that they've played as panel members and not as advisor or chief of staff. Even their letters that we had written, the invitation is clear. We want to know their roles, or the roles that they've played as panelists. So let's stick to the issue of them being panelists and not as
Chair,
an advisor.
On the letter, he's saying he participated as an advisor. That's what he's saying himself in the letter. That's why I seek to understand how was your participation as an advisor in relation to nominations that were there, if you gave any technical advice to appoint a particular individual. But Chair, I'm willing to let go of this question if perhaps the respondent may not be able to answer.
I think, like I would have mentioned, the tricky part or the difficulty or the thin line would have been panel member and then advisor on the side.
So there was some confusion going on there.
I would not say confusion. I did not mention...
Please characterize it, sir.
That is why I've characterized it that there is a thin line. That is my characterization of it. It's not...
Okay.
So
Let me move, honorable member, respectfully. So, if you could clarify as well, did you play any role in the approval process of nominees? It's a yes or no kind of a question.
And unfortunately, member, I would have to respond, and please allow me to do that. I think if the panel have not said to convene and recommend, and so it means that that part is out. Secondly, the question of approval of names is solo on the powers given by the Skills Act to the minister. So it's a minister that would have approved names. I do not have the capacity to approve names.
Okay, thank you, member. May I move to Ms. Rulani Ngwenya? And you are stating in your letter that you participated in providing secretariat support function, but you were not involved in the approval process of nominees. Are you aware of any of such process that took place? If yes, may you please clarify for this committee, what was that approval process, if any took place?
Excuse me. Thank you for that question. I don't know what the approval process that will have been undertaken. My role was to support the chairperson, convene the meeting, and make sure that there are records of the meetings. The understanding, and I'm saying this as a practice of what will have happened in other committees, was that at the conclusion, a report will then be generated. And the chair was going to guide on who signs the report. And the chair will then hand over the report. That is a standard practice. But in this case, Honorable Chair, I do not know what process was undertaken to facilitate the approval.
So
in my capacity as secretariat of the committee. I apologize. I apologize sincerely.
no, I think I got the response. For the sake of time, Chair, and I hope you paused when you were talking, Chair. So I will move quickly to, okay, before I move, I just want to put on record, Chair, that it seems nobody knew what was the process and if it took place. And that should speak volumes to how the minister conducted herself. If the technocrats around her were really clueless if things happen and what processes are followed. I'm moving to the last point. I'm going to Ms. Nedisiwe Semane. You are putting in your letter, ma'am, that you did not participate in the selection and recommendation of CITA's Accounting Authority chairpersons. but you participated in the recommendation of SETA's accounting authorities, not Board of Chairpersons. Are you aware of any meeting which was dealing with the Board of Chairpersons? If yes, how was it conducted and who took part in making sure that it is organized?
Thank you, Honorable Member. No, I'm not aware.
Of any? So clearly, Chair, things were happening in the evening somewhere, and that should somehow be part of our substantive report as the committee, because clearly there's no crime scene here that is identified, there's no process spoken to. Obviously, you can see how the greatest son or child got into.
Thank you
the
very
board.
much, Honorable Khakao. Yeah, we're on number 5. Let's go. Yeah. Sorry? Yes.
Ke a leboha modulasetulo. Mme Ngwenya, why, if you were appointed the secretariat of the committee or the panel, what informed your decision to not set up or convene the panel?
My contact or attempts to contact Advocate Terry Mutau was for him and I to sit and undertake some planning, an introduction, and agree on how the work was gonna unfold.
Mute yourself, thank you. So I think you know by now that 7 minutes is very little time. So if you saying, so you didn't, because Advocate Teremutau was not a success, you didn't meet. Were you aware, when the chairperson, when the Dr. Nkabane appointed you the responsibility to do the secretariat job, did she give you all the other people that she had appointed so that you know who you are supposed to set the panel with, or did she only tell you of Ndate Mutau?
I was appointed, it was indicated that Advocate Mutau is the chair. And I was also provided with Advocate Mutau's contact numbers.
Okay, but other people, that's the question. Apart from Mutau, we know about Mutau. The other people that she had sent appointment letters to, did you know who those people were?
I did not have a discussion with the minister. I simply received the letters.
So when you didn't succeed with Advocate Teremutau, you didn't seek to meet with the other people, notwithstanding that part of the letters you would have would be another chairperson's letter of appointment, being Mabuza Ngubane?
No, Honorable Member. There were communications between Advocate Mutau and I, and at some point he was busy that we could not sit. But I did not.
You're not answering my questions. And I
want to explain why.
No. Here, let me guide you. The primary question is, why did you not set up the meeting? We know that your attempts with Mutau were not successful. That's not a question, so I don't need you to reiterate that. But if you are in possession of all the other people that the minister has appointed, when you fail with Mutau, why did you not convene the rest? Where did you get the instruction to no longer proceed with the panel?
There was no instruction to no longer proceed, but there was never a conclusion between the process I was embarking on with Advocate Mutau. So it never got to a point where he said he's no longer participating. It was just that the times were not aligned.
And so by coincidence, you just left the process as is because you're like, I don't know where I am, and you did not consult anyone who did not give you any instruction.
I think the process was then overtaken by events given the delay.
DG, Sishi, you, on the meeting that we had on the 30th of May, I myself asked the department, including yourself, if anybody knew anything about this panel. You said you knew absolutely nothing about this panel. Now today you're sitting here saying that you have never been allergic from the onset of the idea of a panel justifying its work. That being said, is DDG Ngwenya lying when she says that yourself and Minister Nkabane together engaged her about the setup of this panel, resulting in a letter that appoints her for secretarial functions of the panel?
I think consistently, each time I've been asked the question, I have indicated I've never been involved in the appointment of the panel. Secondly, the minister herself confirmed that I've never been involved in the setting of the panel. But all this other time, I'm still the DG, which means there are certain things that can happen. For example, the movement, because that's what she said, the movement of the function to the branch that she's responsible for.
I'm going to pause you.
Okay.
I'm pausing you there because I've heard you. It's fine. So the confirmation is that she's not lying. You were aware because you're the DG and you're a line manager. There's no way movements to functions can happen without her. That's okay. Ndate Solan,
I don't know if
did the former minister consult you as her advisor in ministry before she signed the final appointment letters?
She would not, I don't think she would be really.
Did she, yes or no? That's it. It's okay to say you are her advisor. We know there was no panel and you've already admitted yourself that you never sat in a meeting of a panel. Move that aside. You remained her advisor. Before she signed the appointment letters to give them to the people, did she consult you to say, as my advisor, do you think these appointments make sense or not? Yes or no?
Again, hold on. Again, I must come in. I told you, we have invited them in their roles as panelists, not their other jobs. I came in when Mkize asked, and I'm coming in again. Let's not ask them about other issues outside of what we have called them here for. So please ask a different question. You have 33 seconds.
Chairperson, we can easily accuse you of being a goalkeeper in this process, but it's fine.
No, you can accuse me of anything.
Wena Solani, did you facilitate the process in any way of the appointment of Dr. Nkabane's CETA board chairpersons and any other ANC cadre, either sitting as an MP or sitting in any structures of the ANC?
Can you please repeat the question properly so that I can be able to respond to you properly? Because when you're saying in any way, it becomes way too broad for me to get.
I'm asking, have you?
Thank you very much.
You gave Sihle the grace and you took my time when you were talking
No,
and you didn't
paused
pause
your
it.
time.
No,
I
Chairperson.
did.
You're not
Desiree?
being fair. Chairperson,
Desiree,
you
come in.
allowed Lonzi Grace to conclude on a question. Seconds later,
it was
you must be
relevant.
consistent.
You're speaking over the chair again.
No, but you're being a
You are
bully
speaking over
again.
the
What
chair.
are you hiding,
Switch off
Debokholisi?
your mic.
Why do you not want us to engage with these
Honorable
people
Kakao,
honestly?
I'm warning you.
You are warning me because you do not want the
Honorable
truth to come
Kakao,
out about what exactly happened
stop
here.
acting.
I'm not
You are not on
acting. I am not acting.
You are.
You are bothered because you have something to
Yeah, what's
hide.
the point of order? Yeah. No, she's acting. It's okay. Honorable.
Chair,
yes?
order.
Yes.
Chair,
Yeah.
you see, every time in this committee, we are not going to have this dialogue to take place at the presence of the South Africans who would want to know what is happening in the country.
Yeah.
If you have overruled, we have overruled. We listen to you as the chair, then we proceed. My word is that we are degenerating and we are not getting to the bottom of this. Please.
Yeah. No, I hear you. People think we're acting, we're on TV, we're on Movango. They're just doing it for that. So we understand. we've got a duty here too. Time is done. You can't say just because the chair allowed Msezana 30 seconds more, the chair must allow you. That's on the discretion of the chair. So I'm not giving her because the questions are not relevant. It's asking questions that I've overruled on Mkhize. And you're wasting time on this one. Desiree, let's go. And I've said, you know, I'm going to be very strict on the rules and ask people to be removed in our meetings because they know the rules are that when the chair speaks, you don't speak over the chair. But we've got people who want to trend and create content at the expense of the work that we're supposed to do. Desiree?
Chair, thank you. I'm going to ask my first question to all three the members that spoke, the guests that spoke. And the first one would be that, first of all, do any one of you believe that your employment status is in danger for appearing here today? That's the first question to all three. The other question I have is to Mr. Sulani specific. You
give them to answer the question.
Okay.
There's a question to all of you. Do you think, please repeat the question to them directly.
Yeah, just a very direct response because I've got other questions. Do you believe that appearing here today is putting your employment status in danger? If so, why? Start with Ms. Ngwenya, Ms. Samani, and then Mr.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I will not necessarily say it puts the employment status in jeopardy. But when you are a senior member of government, trust is central to the type of relationship that must exist. And somehow, the participation in this process may have fractured.
That's enough. We have 7 minutes and we've got many questions to Ms. Samani.
Thank you, Honorable Member. No, I don't believe me appearing here put jeopardy to my contract. Thank you.
Mr. Sir.
I think, Honourable Member, I'm not quite convinced by any chance when we are accounting publicly, being called to Parliament, it would put any danger of employment. And by the way, the minister has been released yesterday, so I'm a political appointee, so I'm unemployed technically. So there's no danger. There can't be any danger on something I don't have.
Okay, so, well, in your future endeavors, sir, can you please explain to us, you actually went with Mr. Luvo Makazi to Advocate Terry Matau to, I assume, to convince him to participate or be the chairperson. Who is Mr. Luvo Makazi and why did he go with you? What role was he playing in this whole panel thing?
Thank you, Honourable Member, for that question. Let me start here. So Luvo Makasi is an admitted attorney that many years back was studying at UWC. I was also studying at UWC. And would happen to be in the same church denomination. The PAL branch is in the Eastern Cape.
I don't want to be rude. I want to know why he went with you and why did you ask him in what capacity was he attending?
I'm attempting to respond, Honourable Member.
Taking a long dive. I don't want to hear the past. I want to know why he went. He's not working for the department, or was he?
Okay. So when the decision to appoint Advocate Terry was taken, I would have needed someone that is in the legal fraternity because it was difficult to get hold of Advocate Terry because of his schedule. So the only reason that Mr. Makasi was there was to facilitate that first interaction with Advocate Terry because they are both in the legal fraternity. So when I asked around, you would have said, no, I've worked with Advocate Terry in the legal space before. So he was solo there to be able to facilitate an interaction. He's not a part of the department. He did not even partake on the conversation. It was only introductory. And again, the nature of that meeting was purely introductory. There was nothing sensitive, extensive spoken about. It was just to be able to add the name and the face so that I can be able to liaise with Advocate Terry and be able to communicate with him later, because they are both in the legal fraternity.
So, Chair, to you, sir, there's no payment required because he was not acting in his professional capacity, yes or no?
No, there was no payment. He would have been someone that knows Advocate, and that's solo the responsibility that he had.
My other question, Chairperson, through you, is that I would like to ask all three of the guests, did any of you, by any chance, because you all responded in a way to say you were there in your already employed capacity, when you were asked, received these letters. Did any of you received emails prior to any of these meetings where you were summoned to attend, received any emails from the DG or any other official or office in this department not to attend, to protect your boss, and that the PC run by this chair, let's say, was postponed and not taking place? Yes or no? Let's go. Ms. Ngwenya, Ms. Amani, Mr. Solani.
No, there was no instruction not to attend. But with my apology of the previous meeting, I provided the context.
We did receive that letter, it's
which
fine. I just wanted a yes or no, because there were emails floating. Ma'am Samani?
Thank you, Honourable Member. No, I did not attend the meeting because I was off sick. Thank you.
My question is not that. Did you receive emails, whether you adhere to them or not?
No, I did not.
Thank you, Honourable Member. No, I did not receive any email of that nature.
Then, Chair, in conclusion, I would just like to ask, there was a question raised on Friday that the list was emailed to the Minister and the DG was CC. Did he receive the list via email? Because he just said he didn't see the list or was involved. So I just wanted to have a yes or no. Of the independent panel.
Okay. I never saw that list. I've never received any email. I never even knew who would eventually be in that list. I accepted the fact that the law doesn't allow me to appoint board chairs. And if I were to be part of any panel, it would be at the discretion of the accounting authority. But if I was not part of it, I accepted that, because I knew that at some point when the panel has been appointed, or when the chairpersons are appointed, then I will come. See, there's one thing in the law that is a problem. I sign SLAs with chairpersons, but I don't appoint them. So when they perform their duties, they don't see a need to account to me, because I'm not there. I've never appointed them. And I think that's what we're trying to fix in the amendments to e-legislation. Whether I liked it or not, I would not be part of the appointment of this panel or be part of the processes that are there unless I am asked to do so. And in this case, I was never asked, and because I was never asked to do so, but I was aware that processes are moving, because the accounting authorities whose task it is by law to do so was handling the matters. So I think, Honorable Member, I trust I tried to.
No, you tried. You tried. And you are saying that that's what you are trying to do with the legislation. And you know that's why you and I are fighting about your submissions to the committee on the legislative parts. I've told you even when you submitted the APPs that the APPs are not, they suggest you are not urgent enough, or you're not in a hurry to help us to conclude on the matter. I've raised my issues with the Skills Development Act itself, the CT Act, and Higher Education Act. And on your APPs, I picked it up. Remember, I raised it with you guys to say you can't want us to conclude the process at the end of the financial year in 2028, because that's what your APP in a medium term suggests, which I don't think is not going to help us. So we have agreed now that you have this opportunity in September to relook into the issue of the APP. Will do better in terms of what we want to achieve with the acts.
Agreed.
Thank you. Honorable Msezan.
No, thanks, Chair. I'll be very precise. The first question, just to be on record again, I just want to hear from the DG once more, even though he has indicated that he was not part of the process and he distances himself. There is an assertion that you were part of the process to only a degree of reallocating the responsibility to the DDG Ngwenya on managing the nominations of the non-executive board members of the entities program. That is as far as it went. I just want to confirm that again on record, DG.
The CETA coordination team does not sit with the corporate services. So all the time in the years, they were responsible for the administrative part of this. But the minister saw that they can't have the technical capacity to be able to assist.
Of managing this process. You only participated in the consultation process where, with the minister, you reallocated the responsibility to the DDG on doing this process of managing these nominations.
No.
This is what the letter says.
No, Honorable Member. I have never participated in this process whatsoever. And
DG, I'm referring to the letter, the response letter from the DDG that says, in September and October 2024, following a consultation between the DG and the minister, a decision was taken to relocate the responsibility for managing nominations for the non-executive board members of the entities to this program. So I'm asking, for record purposes, that this is as far as it went in terms of your participation in this process, because this is it's undertaking the same process of these nominations and all of those things. So that's as far as it went in as far as your participation is concerned.
No,
or rather, this is not participation.
Yes, absolutely not.
It was just consultation, by the way.
It was also not consultation.
So this is a lie.
The function to appoint.
Now you're playing with English, DTG. I'm asking about this response to say this is the only thing you did in this process, the function, or however you want to, if it's not consultation, the function, however you want to explain it.
No.
Is this correct, or is this the DTG lying here?
Firstly, I can't speak on behalf of the DDG.
No, I'm referring to the response. So you would have disputed this if the DDG is lying.
I understand her to be saying what I have indicated to you. That's what I understand, but I'm not the one who wrote that letter. She's the one who wrote it. She can explain for herself.
Okay,
she
thank
has
you,
already apologized for having made an insinuation that I might have cancelled the meeting, the preparations for the oncoming meeting. She's already done so. And so I've accepted that there could have been inconsistencies in the letter as she was trying to explain herself.
So you are saying that the DDG is lying by saying this?
No, I won't say that. I won't.
Okay,
I won't even-
DDG, did the DG play this particular role in consultation as you are indicating in point 2 of your letter? Because the DG said he played no part in this process. But in your response, you say, following consultations between the Director General, Dr. Sishi, and the Honorable Minister, Nkabane, a decision was taken to relocate the responsibility for managing nominations. So, is this accurate, or are you also going to apologize for this? Because the DG is now mentioning something I wasn't aware of, where you have apologized for, I don't know, misrepresenting his participation.
When I was informed by both the minister and the DG about that discussion following their decision, that from now on, finalizing the nomination process for boards of entities, councils for TVET, NN, will be coordinated from corporate services.
So you maintain that the DG was part of the process of that consultation and the minister? You stand by what you wrote here, so that I move, please.
Yes, when I was in...
Thank you. No, if you stand by what you've written here on record, thank you very much. You state that you were informed in March that the board chairperson is Advocate Mdao, but again in a response by Chief Director Ngubane, you indicate, Mr. Ngubane, that you were initially appointed as the board chairperson and you decided not to respond. Maybe I want to first understand your decision not to respond to the accounting authority. What does it entail? Can you just decide that because you view the appointment as flawed or unnecessary, you decided that you will not respond to the accounting authority being the minister? Mr. Ngubane.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. I explained on Friday that...
I was not here, that's why I'm asking the question.
Sorry. I explained that I did not respond because I viewed the appointment as part of my normal responsibilities.
I understand, that is what is written here. So I'm just trying to understand again that can you just up and decide to not respond to the accounting authority, and then the accounting authority then decides to appoint someone else as the chairperson? So is that how you operate in the department?
I did not respond.
Okay.
That one is true.
No, there was another question to the... No, I'm done, Chair, but can I get the response from the DDG?
Sorry, Honorable Chair, I think I missed the... Sorry.
Chair, these letters are contradicting. The DDG says she was informed that the chairperson is Advocate Mdao in March. And then Mr. Ngubane, Chief Director, says in March again he was initially appointed as the chairperson. So it means that the former minister would have appointed two different people to be the chairpersons of that same independent panel. So I'm asking, when was the DDG informed of Advocate Mdao? Obviously, it would mean that because Chief Director would have decided not to respond to the minister, therefore the minister thought, no, let me appoint another person. So when was she informed of Advocate Mdao being the chairperson in the same March? Because this both happened in early March or something.
The appointment letter appointing Advocate Mdao was received on the 16th of March.
Thank you. Ngubane, what's the point of order?
Writing on a point of order for you to consider here, because I don't want to accuse you of being sexist or anything. I was asked by Ndade Solani to repeat a question that he did not understand. In doing so, you gagged me and refused for me to do so. Right now, Honorable Msezana's time is up. He's asked by Mayor Ngwenya to repeat the question that she didn't understand. You gracefully afforded him the grace to do so.
Yes.
So why are you being inconsistent when I have the responsibility to do so?
Close your mic. Point of order is why. You're asking a question or you want to... There's no point of order. Honorable Nguban.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'll start with TDG Ngwenya. TDG Rulani Ngwenya. You, as a secretary, you were the one that was supposed to kick off this process. So you didn't took it yourself to communicate to all the members and you of the panel, but you communicated with Advocate Mutau. Why didn't you communicate with other members of the panel to schedule meeting and to start the work? Why only Advocate Mutau?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Eventually, it will have come to a point where I will have made contact with all members. But at the beginning, it was to introduce myself to Advocate Terry Mutau and get to understand what type of support he will require and how we are going to unfold. Once we've agreed on that, one of which will have been, when is the meeting, the first meeting taking place? And I will then have gone to invite the others. But I thought it was courtesy that he just does not see an invite when he's the chair and he has not been contacted and he has not been given the authority to determine how the process was going to unfold.
Okay, all right. Now that we know, would you agree with me that you were really not the secretary of this panel? You were just the fake secretary that didn't do any secretarial work, that didn't took the minute, that didn't invite people, that didn't have recordings. So were your name fictitiously used as a secretary, which means you were not a secretary of this panel at all?
Thank you, Honorable Member. By appointment, I was. I may not have executed the functions related to the role that I was appointed for, but I was appointed as the Secretariat. Okay,
let me clarify my question again. Receiving a letter, you are a secretary. Throughout the whole process until the appointment is done, secretary was nowhere. There were names, everything was finalized. I'm repeating again. Do you agree with me that you were a fictitious secretary of this panel that were never involved anywhere except meeting Advocate Mutau only? No minute, no recordings, no invite of the meetings, nothing. Boom, at the end, there's names appointed, but you have no clue. Do you agree with me that you were a fictitious secretary that never was the secretary of the panel?
In that case, yes, I agree.
Coming to Asisipo Solani. Asisipo, would I be correct that the whole process of appointing the board chairpersons, you ran it alone and only alone from the start till the beginning, and you were the one that was running this show for the minister?
Honorable Member, you are totally incorrect.
DDG Sishu, it's not the first time that the board chairpersons were appointed. It's been done for years. Would you agree with me that from this time on, the advisor to the minister took the process away from the norms of the department and ran the show away for the first time. Would you agree with me that all along we have a process within the department of appointing board chairpersons, of appointing the boards of sitters, of appointing any board, and it's been working. It worked at NSFAS, it works everywhere, but only this one was taken out from the department by Asisipo. Hence, we have things falling apart.
Honorable member, if I look at two processes, the one in the past and the one they say, they are different. And I think that is what I can say. They are different, and what makes it different? In the past, there weren't any independent panel. The department would handle the processes according to how you know it. So that makes it the difference. But I have a lot of respect for my colleagues, and I feel that I might not make comments to characterize them in a way that is outside of the processes as I understand it.
Thank you. Again, DDG, I'm asking simple question. They are in the department working process. Yeah. The advisor to the minister ran the show outside for the first time, hence we're having a failed process. It's just a yes or no.
Because I did not know in the first place that the advisor was part of the panel, I wouldn't have known up until now, just like you know, like everybody knows. Now, on hindsight, as I listen to the comments and the responses to questions and lots of coverage of these issues, in the media and elsewhere, I have come to understand that there were deviations.
Okay, on my last question to Asisipo again. Do you think, Asisipo, the whole process was compromised in the office of the minister by yourself? Don't you think that by so doing, you brought the department into disrepute? By just doing what you did to take the system outside and run with it and not use the old system, and you compromised the minister on the whole situation by advising him wrongly. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Chair. Honorable member, firstly, let me put it this way. I did not run away with any process. I did not act in any way that would have compromised the department. I am not sure what are the bases of those allegations, but I want to state it on record. I did not take any process and run away from it. The process was not headed by me. There was a particular process, panel, that there's explicit information given on how things would have unfolded. So as for making such strong accusations that I would have taken a process and ran away from it, I don't get the basis of that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Khabo.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thanks for the opportunity. Probably let me start with the DG. DG, for how long have you been a DG of this department? 4 years. Okay. Can it be on record, DG?
Yes, from 2021.
From 2021?
Yes.
All right, no, thank you. Let me start my question firstly with Mr. Solani. My apology if I do not pronounce your name properly. Can I just check with you, what is your highest academic qualification?
I hold a master's degree in political science.
Master's degree in political science. All right, thank you very much. How many times have you met Advocate Terry?
met Advocate Terry once.
You met Advocate Terry once. Okay. Who accompanied you to that meeting of Advocate Terry?
Mr. Luvo Makasi.
Okay, between you and Mr. Lovo Makasi, who reached out to Advocate Terry firstly to secure a meeting?
I would have attempted to get hold of Advocate Terry, but I would have needed someone that knew him. So because Luvo Makasi is in the legal fraternity, so as I would have asked around people that I know that they've been in the legal space. He happened to be someone that he said, no, he has worked with Advocate Terry back in the years, and because they have been both in the legal space for some time.
Okay.
So I would have requested him to attempt to facilitate that meeting. So he would have reached out to Advocate Terry to facilitate that introductory process.
That process of, that facilitation of an introductory meeting, was it before he was informed that he was a chair of the panel, or the intention of that meeting was to inform him that he was appointed as the chair of the panel?
I would not want to mislead the House. I can't think of the exact dates around that, honorable member. So I would not want to really...
Okay, let me put it in this way. After you had failed to get hold of Advocate Terry, who instructed or who requested Mr. Luvo Makasi to get hold of Advocate Terry?
Okay, I think let me attempt to explain it, honorable member, this way. So I would have looked for someone senior in the legal fraternity. So chief among other names, the name of Advocate Senior Counsel Terry came out. So now it was upon me to see how do I get hold of Advocate.
All right, let me assist you to assist me in the process. Ne? Between you and Mr. Luvo, you said that he reached out to Advocate Terry as a way of assisting you to facilitate an introductory meeting. My question is, at the time of you reaching out to Advocate Terry, was he already appointed as a chair, or the intention of the meeting was to inform him that the department or the minister is intending to appoint him as the chair of the panel?
That is why I said, honorable member, earlier, I'm not sure if at the time he had received the correspondence or not. So I don't want to mislead the House, the committee on that.
All right. The instruction to reach out to Advocate Terry, was it an instruction of the minister or your individual decision?
I would have not take decisions on individual. It will be in consultation and engagement to my boss.
Is it an instruction or not from the minister? Yes or no? Is it an instruction from the minister that you must interact with Mr. Makasi so that he can facilitate a meeting with yourself and Advocate Terry?
No, I would have asked around who would have known Advocate Terry in the legal fraternity. Then I would have reached out.
Let me tell you, and I would want you to tell me if Advocate Terry is lying or not. Advocate Terry alleges that Mr. Makasi reached out to him and informed him that he has been appointed as the chair of the panel even before he could receive the letter of appointment. Is he telling the truth or is he lying? Don't explain, Mhlegas.
Honorable member.
Or you don't know?
No, I would not know because it is a conversation between Advocate Terry and Luvo Makasi. So I would really be not in a better position to respond to that.
What was the reason of Luvo Makasi? I'm not sure of the name. What was the purpose of him staying or forming part of the meeting after he has facilitated an introductory meeting?
The meeting was more of a meet and greet, in introductory. It did not discuss any sensitive much issues. So Luvo Makasi would would not really would have participated in that meeting. It was a matter of, this is Mr. Solani, this is Advocate Terry, then we
All right,
introduce
it's
and
fine.
exchange
It's
contacts.
fine. Let us not be technical. Going to the issue of, I'm looking at the time also, Chair. Going to the issue of Mr. Luvo, would you conclude that his presence in that meeting had no influence on the outcomes of the process that he had started?
Can you please repeat the question, Honorable Member?
In your response, you said that, let me just try and get the name because I get irritated when people do not pronounce my
It's
name.
Luvo Makasi.
Yes, Mr. Luvo Makasa. You said that his role was just to facilitate a meeting. He did not actually participate in any of the process. Ne? My question is, would you conclude, maybe let me leave that one, Chairperson, to avoid being adventurous like I've seen other members playing to the gallery, let me not be tempted. Thank you very much.
We like your discipline. At least you are not accusing me of being sexist. Honorable Souls.
Honorable Chairperson, I refuse to join those that considers meaningless fights a superior logic and fake GNU partners in pretending that this exercise is fruitful. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Very fruitful. Honorable Low.
Chair, I'm not going to be much. DG, are you aware of the audit AGSA report of 10 September 2020? And then in the AGSA report, section 11, I want to read this for you. Audit finding. Non-compliance identified on the appointment of members of the accounting authority. Section 11, subsection 2, paragraph AB of the SDA states that, subject to paragraph B and section 13, subsection 2, the minister must appoint 14 persons as members of the accounting authority of CETA, the members referred to in paragraph and chairpersons. Are you aware of the advice the AG gave to the department while you were in the department?
I was not yet in the department at that time, but I'm aware of it. And I can explain.
No, it's fine, don't explain.
Okay.
So, DG, who does Ndado Gubani report to? Does Ndado Gubani report to you or to the minister?
It's to Mr. Mvalo.
Who does Mvalo report to?
Mr. Mvalo reports to the DG.
Okay, I'm a bit lost and confused. You are the Director General of the department. You preside over the administrative authority of the department. Your duty is to advise the department on any other matter. And any other correspondence that arrives from the department, who receives it is not you as the DG.
Okay, I think I understand your question.
No, I've not asked the question yet. Wait. Inkekele mongwe ke go kopa re bogile ke ngena for 3 months. Jana o inkekele le nna ke la ke kgonegile ke na le depression. Ya go department ga e dire tsone bana ba safara ga gona di allowance and DG ga itse sep. E tshwana ka MM ko maspaleng. A re ene ga itse gore why di fleet di tswile go maspaleng and go tsa gona go respond towards that. So inkekele pele mongwe me o arabe se ke go potsang shone ke lebogile. Jaanong DG ke a botsa. Are you saying you as the Director General, you wouldn't know or you wouldn't advise the minister, albeit that you are not appointing, on any administrative issues that concern the department?
Thank you very much. The law prescribes that this process is the process that is located within the ministry, and the minister is responsible and not the DG. That's the inconsistency that causes the issue of an official supporting the minister, but the line at that time does not go through the DG. To fix it, you fix the law. And at this point in time, that's what we are working with.
DG, I'm asking, by the time when the names were given to you as the DG, wouldn't you advise the minister otherwise based on the fact that you knew about the AGSA audit outcome that advised against the same process?
Thank you. The names were given to me at the same time as they were presented to the NSA in a meeting. That was the first time I got to know about the names together with all members of the NSA and the rest of the public.
DG, as the DG, when you got about the name, what was your reaction? What did you do?
Okay, when I got when I received the names, my reaction was, I wish DGs were involved because they would be able to provide guidance and advice. Honest and fearless advice. And that's the character of the Sishi, that is the DG of higher education. Honest and fearless.
Chair, I'm not going to ask questions anymore. That is Solani. Before that, I'm going to give my closing. Is it allowed that you consult outside the department without even to consult the legal department or department out of your own will, as per Labor Relations Act and as per the policy of the department?
I think on the legal issues, the vintage point becomes a department.
Now, what informed you to go and get your friend or your comrade or your colleague to come and advise the department, whereas he does not have jurisdiction?
I don't have any recollection, Chair, where I would have said someone outside the department gave a framework and advice to the department. I don't know where the member might have got that.
Sorry?
I'm saying I don't recall having said that I would have went to get a friend or anyone to give a legal framework or any advice to the department who's not working in the department.
How did Mr. Luvo get involved?
Again, let me go back again. Mr. Luvo was the means of me reaching out and trying to get Advocate Thierry to facilitate the meeting, not to contribute in any legal framework or process.
Okay.
He became a middle person.
Thanks, sir. I don't have time and I came late. The moment you go outside external, not internal, it's a misconduct. It's not allowed as per the Labor Relations Act and the policy of the department. Any matter concerning the department, concerning appointments, you work within the confines of the law and the department, and you go to the relevant department, you submit your right and say, given the fact that I'm confronted with this, I must advise the minister. I need this advice as which process to follow, because previously we could have had this particular problem. And I expect you, as a master's degree holder, to understand the day-to-day running of government. Now, here, Chair, the department is playing a cat and mouse with ourselves and the people of South Africa. Everybody knows about this thing. The DDG has indicated in a letter that is black and white that the DG was quite informed and involved in the process. The DG is misleading this parliament and is saying there's no way a subordinate of any other person or any other leader in an institution cannot know what are the reactions or what are the performing duties that are going to be performed by that person. So I am going to propose and maintain that the DG be brought to book, and I've concluded, me, as Honorable Sudugal Notepo loaded, part of the problems at the department is the DG, who had a duty to advise and played administrative oversight role. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So this is where, okay, DG, you can come in.
Chair, I would request your protection. Firstly, I received a letter saying that I might have led to certain officials not attending the portfolio committee meeting. At that time, I was not a DG, I was there was an acting DG and I was out of the country to do national duty. The person who might have written this apology in such a way that such a conclusion is made has apologized. But there is no apologies to me. Some of the members of this committee have tried to move outside of what is the purpose of what the questions that are asked to the question, to try and suggest that I was involved or I might have participated. And I've indicated consistently all the time that I've been here that I really would love to appoint chairpersons. I can assure you. Give me a chance to appoint chairpersons, you will see. But the law doesn't allow me to do so. But I am the DG of the department. And as a DG of the department, I'm not unaware of what's going on in the department. So if, for example, the minister perform her duties as the minister and accounting authority of our department, and these are written and are there in the law, what must I do? Advice that we provide to accounting authorities, it's advice that we provide all the time. On the day I saw the list, I saw it together with everybody else. There was absolutely no time to actually intervene at that stage. And I feel I'm unfairly, placed in a position where not even, slightest, indication by those who were involved include the DG in what they say.
Yeah.
But some people want to include the DG there.
Okay.
I think it's unfair.
Yeah. Sorry, DG. Maybe you came in early. Maybe I was going to protect you because you came in before I could ask. But I've also noted that your PLO has also brought in new glasses, maybe in China, where you got two, because you've got new glasses. David also has got new glasses. But on a serious note, the last week we had taken a number of decisions. One of them was to bring you to explain this thing. I wanted us to finish with the panelists so that we can come to the departmental issues. That's what I said at the beginning of the meeting. And the DDG clarified that part. In fact, even before the DDG clarified that part, last week, Mr. Mabuzangubani clarified that there was there might have been a confusion, but it was clarified. But without the DDG explaining, we will not have written to you again. We wrote to you indicating that DG, we want you to come and explain these particular things. Unfortunately, we did not deal with it, right? But it has been clarified, at least by two of the officials in your department. Maybe, on a lighter note, maybe we were too silly at DG, but it has been clarified. And we accept the clarification that there was no malice from the department, from the office of the DG to cancel our meeting. There was, it was clarified by both of them that this was not the intention, and DG Ngwen has apologized. We take that part. So unless the DG says he wanted us to write him a letter to say this matter has been clarified, to a fine. but we're fine with that part. Oh, yeah, press the mic, DJ.
I think the issue, Chair, would be the benefit of the doubt. If someone were to say these things about you, and I'm there, you are my chair, I should be able to say this can't be. Cancel, ask officials not to attend Parliament.
Yeah, we've clarified DJ. Close the mic.
It's really serious.
Yeah, it affected you so much. You had to buy new glasses. Close the mic so that we continue. I think what is clear here, members, which I think you'll also agree with me, is that in real terms, there was no independent panel. That is the first thing we must agree on. Maybe there was an intention to have a panel, but it was not implemented in a true sense of the word. Because people may have received the letters, but they did not even know what their roles would have been. But the intention was there to bring in this independent panel. I think that's the first one we must agree on, that there was no panel. Maybe there was an intention to have the panel, but the panel did not exist. Also indicate that there was actually no need in our meeting, including on the letter of the withdrawal of the chairperson from the minister on the 15th, on the 16th of May, to say that there was a panel that dealt with this issue. There was no need. Section 11 of the Constitution, the Section 11A, 1A of the Skills Development Act empowers the minister to appoint chairpersons on her own, on a process that she can deem fit, as long as she can explain it. But it's up to her how she appoints. And if the minister would have said, I, as the minister, have appointed these particular people, I don't think would be here, would have brought in people from the department. They've got serious job. We have a lot of vacancies in the department. Should be busy there with those things. We've got principals in TVET colleges who are not appointed, who are supposed to be, who will not be here. And I don't know how many times we've taken officials from the department from doing what they're supposed to be doing on this matter that, in my view, could have easily been avoided. Could have avoided this thing, DG. Could have easily been avoided. If there was no panel, like we believe that there was no panel, there was no need to say there was a panel. In fact, these members would have been lighter today. But how the panel was brought to the attention of these members, it would have been that there was retired, experienced people with serious governance background from outside, independent. And when we received the names, there was only Advocate Muta who was independent in a real sense. Because 2 are from the department and 2 are from the ministry. That can't be independent. Right? So that could have been avoided. And I agree, Honorable Lonzi, that there are certain acts that we must deal with, including the Skills Development Act that deals with the appointments not only of SITA board chairperson, SITAs, NSA, NSF, and we when we deal with it, we must deal with them clause by clause, DG. That is why when I criticized your legal department, I mean, in that meeting of the 30th, I don't know, the chief director there of legal stood up when we gave her a mic. I can't remember to say what. She said, somebody said, I think Honorable Loans was saying capable legal department. And she stood up and said, we are the dumbest according to Honorable Litsi. We have never said they are dumb, but we have said to them last year when we met in November, in our first threat plan with yourselves, we said, give us clause by clause, because we want to have a bite on what needs to be done. And you remember what they bought the one pager there. They did not, then they tell us they did not understand what we wanted. And when we criticized them, including them submitting to the minister, I mean the government gazette that you guys did, signed by the minister, about the statue, the university statue of CUT, where it allowed a register to be a register literally for life. It comes from you in the legal department. They come to you, then you look for the negative, good things, bad things, then you send to the minister. And I said, you guys sent such a recommendation to the minister when currently we have a problem at the time, with the problem of somebody who was a vice chancellor who did not want to leave. We're happy that they've announced that he's leaving. But we have such a problem. And then you sign such a statute. It doesn't make sense. You see? So we ought to look at these things, the Skills Development Act. As it is, members, and I don't want us to leave here having some thoughts that the SITA board chairpersons, when they are announced, because the new minister must appoint these boards. When they are announced, there must not be an expectation that they will come and ask us. Unfortunately, as the law states now, it does not allow. It's up to us to lobby each other properly and say, what do we want to achieve with these things? And how do we go about, because there are certain clauses in the laws, I think, that the ANC will probably bring, MK will bring, you will bring a DA, EFF, IFP, PA, and say, this is the changes that we are looking for. Then we must sit down as the committee and say, how is this one going to help an ordinary person in Kofimbaba? How is this change going to affect a young child in Toyando? So when you bring changes, when you bring even the proposals, they must be grounded in helping our people on the ground. So, but what are we waiting for? The department. So DG, when we are going to criticize you, unfortunately there in the department, this is you. We are going to criticize you as long as we are not getting what we want. These members write to me almost all the time complaining that they write to the department, there are no responses. We write to the department, there are no responses. So some of these things, I mean, are not, it's as if they are designed for us not to account. So we are going to continue with yourselves properly. That's why I've got no questions for those people. I've concluded, I've read what they've said, I've listened to their letters, including even last week with Advocate Terry and Mr. Ngubane. It was clear that the intention was there, but this thing was not taken through. And therefore, the minister would have exercised his right, his constitutional right as given by Section 11(1)(a) of the Skills Development to appoint. She could have simply just said, I have appointed, and I've listened to the public outcry. I'm taking responsibility. I'm restarting the process. This matter will not have been here. Will not have had people leave their work to be here. So we will have our preliminary report. We will put together a report as members, and if needs be, we will then, to afford the minister, former minister, the right to reply, if needs be. I don't see how it's going to help us if it's not part of the legislation, this thing of independent panel. If it's included, it would have made sense that these are the gaps on the independent panels. But our recommendations, I don't know how they're going to empower the new minister as well, because we're talking about something that is not legislated. Like I said earlier on, I do not think us doing this thing is going to help us in any way to enrich the Act. The Act, for me, needs a separate discussion for us. And that is why, DG, when we give you the report for next term, this part of legislation will be on there. There's 3 things that we have agreed with you guys that you must go prepare for next term. We are going to be a little bit serious because there are certain things that we should be fixing easily. So we are going to including the legislation in the next term. I think members, we will engage colleagues with the department continuously. We want, I think at this stage you must, none of you here stood up when you were speaking and congratulated the new minister. I think you are very jealous. Instead, no, even in absentia, Honorable Guban, we're talking about the Guptas in absentia and you stood up, so I'm going to close it that way. But Honorable Khabo, you've got a point of order.
No, Chairperson, our probably point of order would be the right one. In summary, you must never be tempted to disregard our input in relation to the investigation of the administration. We have concluded, in fact, let us put our view straight. There's never been a panel here. We were taken for a ride. There's never been a panel. The DG has misled us. Part of our recommendation must include the investigation of the DG's role and other people that were involved in the process. Well, Chairperson, allow me, if you stop me, then let me do it in writing, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Because clearly now you are selectively catching, you are selectively consolidating.
Khabo, you are speaking over the chair. You are repeating what I've said. What you are saying, I've said it. There was never a panel that was said. No questions asked. I said at the beginning of the meeting, you are not here. The issues that we are going to continue with the department, I said it at the beginning, I've just said it now, that we are going to continue on these administrative issues with the department. That is what I've said in this meeting. So, because I had a phone ringing, I suspected maybe it might have been yours. You were disrupted, or somebody disrupted you when I was saying these remarks. So you are forgiven for not hearing me when I said those things. No. The words are clear. We'll continue with the department, and we'll close it at that. We want to congratulate the former deputy minister, the committee. Ourselves, we are congratulating. What's the point of order?
No, Chair, the point of order is the we, because you are our chairperson. So when you speak, you may create an impression to the public that we've reached a consensus on it. So maybe say this one in your capacity as a chairperson, because we don't congratulate the minister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honorable Low.
No, Chair, we, including us, we, some of who are agreeing,
Yeah.
so we can even agree to vote. We were agreeing.
Yeah.
So,
It's okay, colleagues. No, don't worry. We're congratulating the new minister and the deputy minister. I heard Honorable Lonzi saying that he can't wait to meet the new deputy minister. A very capable woman, former premier, serious credentials. We congratulate them. I want to thank you, colleagues. Oh, what's wrong, Honorable Ngwenya?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. You know, out of this meeting, there are reports and recording. And I think it must be clarified because even in the apology did not say the Director General, said the office, someone in the office. So I thought, let me clarify so that you don't see a headline that says the Director General. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. We did say we have accepted. DG, in fact, Desiree last week asked Mr. Ngubane if he's afraid of being fired. Can we have order? Yeah, now I call her to order. If I call her to order, she'll say I'm sexist. DG, there was Honorable van der Walt asked SITA coordination to DG if he's afraid that he will be fired leaving our meeting after coming to say what he said. And DG, you're not helping us. No, I think I agree with Honorable Kaba. I think DG is a problem. Yeah, so DG.
Chair, in all honesty, the DG's office, whoever was responsible for that.
I'm doing. So DG, let's do this. I spoke last week and I said there's this culture in the sector that is brewing, where somebody who differs with yourselves at the top, either as a whistleblower or as somebody else, they get to suffer. Not only in the department, well, at universities we get that all the time. Students, they raise their dissatisfaction with some vice-chancellor, they are suspended. There's this and that happens. A worker in some university appears before Parliament and says, there's a problem of 1, 2, 3, 4. They are pursued by the powers that be. And it's a worry. In the cities, somebody raises a whistleblowing what against the CEO, they are fired. And I said, that can't continue. Because we'll be creating a culture of, I don't know what you call it, but we'll create a wrong culture. So we have to put it to a stop. So it can't happen in the department, where tomorrow we're told that DDG Ngwenya or Chief Director Mabuza are fired on the basis of what they said. They said they were not part of any panel. And maybe the DG would have given them brief and said, you must say you are part of a panel. That can't continue. DDG, we get a lot of complaints in the sector. That can't be. And when we write to you, some of these things, they end up in our laps. They are not, you can tell this one, Parliament is not supposed to even be here. But when we tell them this, they even give us proof that we have written to this, a release of a certificate for TVET graduate. Since 2021, I've been writing to the department. No, why are you asking us for? Please write to the department. They give us proof. Since 2021, then we must enter. We write to you guys, please, man. How do you expect these kids or these students to find employment, to participate economically? When they've passed, they don't owe, but you still don't give them the certificate. It can be. So some of these things, we end up doing them. And that is why sometimes you accuse us of wanting to be, or encroaching of being operational. You know, it's because your people in the department are not doing what they're supposed to do. I don't know how many students went back to universities this week who have not even received their May and June allowances. I don't know how many. It's bad. And if we ask, Kuri, it's as if we want this money, or maybe we've got shares of this money, of this allowance from students, because when we ask, Kuri, you can tell these people don't want to. Kuri, it's as if they're doing us a favor. Well, we're not doing these kids, these students, favors. Let's make sure. We have said we are going to interact regularly with NSFAS. I think when we open it, will be one of the first ones we're interacting with. When we meet with them, DG, we want to see progress. Please go tell them. We want to see real progress. I want to say, these are the accommodation providers who wrote to you and said you have not paid them. This is the number that has been paid. These are the students who your system says they are funded. They have not received their allowances from February. And this is the number that has been receiving. So asking you, these are things that you may take that they are simple. They are not. If you are stuck at rest, if you are lucky enough, by the way, because others, they stay in rest where there's no Wi-Fi, no warm water, because their accommodation providers have not been paid for so long. They owe municipality, they can't pay, they can't buy electricity, they can't pay for Wi-Fi. So these kids wrote exams now, taking a shower with cold shower if they were lucky, that they even had water, right? They don't have Wi-Fi. So please, DG, when you bring, when we come next time, we're going to be very serious, and we're not going to take any prisoners. So this is how we're closing the meeting. What is the?
No, Chair, I think I just have to give you the exact number. It's 27,000 of students that are returning, plus it's inclusive of returning students that have not gotten meals. 27,000 to be precise, so that when you give the DG homework, he knows the precise number that I got yesterday from NSFAS. 27,000 students.
No, thank you very much. Switch. No, it's a very good exigence. You know, it's like you got a call from the group that's giving you this number. But on a serious note, this is what we're talking about. So we're going to close our meeting. I want to thank you, Asisipe. I want to thank you, Rulane, Nelisiwe, for coming. I would like to appreciate. So, can you allow me to thank our panelists? No, hold on. I want to thank you for coming. Sometimes people are afraid to come to our meetings because there's this bad picture that is painted about our committee. But you can tell, you see they're smiling, laughing all the time. So what you've seen out there, it's not true. These are very good people. They just have a responsibility to ask questions. They are representing millions of our people out there. Sometimes I would have to come in and guide them because, they are very vicious sometimes. You must come in and stop because they are biting too much. But thank you very much for coming. TG, thank you very much. I know you arrived last night from China. You have not rested. You have not even open other bags of maybe other sunglasses or clothes, and but at least you managed to open one where you brought in the new glasses, and or two, because I see David has got a new pair as well. But thank you very much.